The second time is the charm for the Federal Trade Commission. A federal judge is allowing an FTC antitrust lawsuit to proceed against Facebook's parent company, Meta. Let's bring in Yahoo Finance's legal correspondent, Alexis Keenan, who's been following the story from the very first case. What's changed?
Akiko, so really Facebook has lost its bid here to kick out of court entirely this antitrust lawsuit that was first brought by the FTC back in last December. So the judge really said maybe this is a lucky chance for the FTC. That's the way that he put it, ruling that the agency has now crafted an argument that will at least allow this case to stick. Federal District Judge James Boasberg, he dismissed the FTC's first complaint, saying that the agency had failed to show that Facebook held monopoly power in a market that they're calling personal networking services. The judge wrote in his decision that the FTC has now alleged enough facts to plausibly establish that that Facebook exercises monopoly power in the market for personal networking services, that the company's dominant market share is protected by barriers to entry into that market, and that Facebook has willfully maintained power through anti-competitive conduct, specifically the acquisitions of Instagram and WhatsApp. Now, the judge went on to say that proving the case is something entirely different, and that remains, he said, a tall task for the FTC. Now, a key change to the FTC's claims and the reasoning behind why the judge is letting this go ahead came in the FTC's claim that since 2016, they say, Facebook has held more than 70% market share in the US for these personal networking services. They use the reasoning that based on daily average users across mobile apps, mobile phones, tablets, as well as desktops, that those percentages were high enough, as opposed to the others that play in that space that both parties agree include companies like Snapchat, Google+, MySpace, and a few others. Now, this also included, this judge's order included a win for Facebook. The judge blocked the FTC from moving forward on some allegations that Facebook had stifled competition using what's called interoperability, easy for me to say, policies. Now, the judge reasoned that Facebook had already addressed those in enforcement from the FTC and had already abandoned those policies back in 2018. Now, last, I just want to get to Facebook's response to this decision by the judge. A spokesperson from Facebook's parent Meta addressed some of this in its statement, saying that the decision narrows the scope of the FTC's case by rejecting claims about the platform policies. And it also acknowledges that the agency faces, again, that tall task proving its case regarding two acquisitions that it cleared years ago, referring to Instagram and WhatsApp there. Our investments in Instagram and WhatsApp transformed them into what they are today. The company says they've been good for competition and good for the people and businesses that choose to use our products. Now, the stakes for Facebook, though, are high here. The FTC is not only asking for an injunction to stop what they say is the offending behavior here, but they're also asking for the court to award and agree to divestiture of the offending companies. So in this case would be Instagram and WhatsApp here. So big stakes, a lot to still be decided here. This is just really a first step, letting the FTC go forward with this action.
And really quickly, Alexis, you mentioned the judge pointing out that proving the case is an entirely different battle. I mean, what kind of timeline are we looking at, and how steep is that climb for the FTC?
Yeah, these cases are notoriously difficult to prove. And one of the reasons is because the market definition has to be there. At least here, that hurdle seems to be achieved where the parties are agreeing on what the market is. But whether Facebook has a dominant position there, of course, Facebook is going to push back on that. And as for timeline, the experts that I've talked to in this space, they say that this will be a very protracted litigation. You have a lot of money and a lot of lawyers on both sides here, and certainly they will dig in. This could definitely go on for more than a year here. Akiko?